Is powerbuilding a waste of time? Conceptually, it seems sound, but I worry it's just half-assing each.
For me, power building is just powerlifters who don't compete.
Yeah,
That's what power building is.
that's
It's
all it is like.
because power building is what powerlifters should be doing. You've seen
Yeah.
Hayden's training, shit loads of assistance work, loads of hypertrophy work, loads of non-specific variations. Specificity is great, and that's like from weightlifting, it's phenomenal for every sport. It's very important, but specificity at the right times after the right amount of pre-training is so important, and to support that. So to me, most powerlifters should just be power building for 80% of the year, and then the last 2 weeks they're powerlifting. The last 6 weeks they're powerlifting. So for me, powerlifting is what I would do if I wasn't weightlifting. I wouldn't compete in powerlifting because it's the most boring sport in the world.
My God.
It killed Darren's desire to train. I didn't even finish the meet. I did the squats.
You
and I was
actually
like,
didn't finish
this
the
is
meet.
so boring. I'm not doing this. But that's exactly how I train: squat, bench, and deadlifts, and just lots of hypertrophy work. For me, that's what I think of.
The other point, and this is two of the biggest complaints I have, not about powerlifters in general, but about powerlifters who aren't doing well. They're generally are not doing well in one of two areas. The first area we see is a powerlifter who is too light for their current frame or too light for the lifts they want to achieve, and they'll stick at that body weight in a sort of semi-atrophic state. They'll plateau everything after a certain length of time, and they want to stay there. So this is like, and this isn't talking about good powerlifters. This is talking about like powerlifters who are squatting. What's a small squat? Squatting
150 kilos.
150 kilos. They've been training for 5 years and they won't go up in weight. Like, power building in that sense is like exactly what you should be doing. If you want to be the strongest person possible, realistically, you need to be the biggest person in the best shape possible. Like, nobody who wants to be really, really strong can be really, really strong and be 60 kilos, because that doesn't exist. You're then not strong, you're just strong for a 60 kilo person. So that's the first way I think people, or powerlifters in general, hold themselves back. The second way powerlifters in general hold themselves back is they become this gigantic, unathletic blob, whose then their squat goes up by 10 kilos in a year and their body weight has gone up by 27 kilos in that same year. So they've gone up by proxy because they're now this much, much larger unit. They're a different animal than what they were before, but it's like increasing the towing capacity of a vehicle by making that vehicle into a 3-ton vehicle instead of a 2-ton vehicle, and then it having the same engine running it. So they're the two kind of pitfalls I wouldn't want a powerlifter to fall into if the powerlifter was like my baby cousin, right? But I think power building is a great way of staying away from that, because you have a conscientious job in the power building thing of getting bigger, getting in better shape, and you also have this constant thing of being like, I can't be a fat blob of a powerlifter, and I need to have some sort of consciousness towards body composition. So I think it can be great in that construct. A friend of ours wrote a book about power building, Arthur Lynch. If you want to go and check it out, it's an ebook online. Okay.
So I think in terms of efficiency at size and stuff, now that we're on that kind of thing, I think neurological efficiency is way overplayed, and I think powerlifters worry about it too much.
Oh my God.
Powerlifters worry too much about their wilks, and they worry about like what's going to be most impressive. But in terms of like long-term progress and being the best athlete you can be, like neurological efficiency runs out real fast once you get at a weight and if you're training hard enough. Ultimately at some stage you need to be adding more muscle mass. You need to be adding more contractile tissue to do more work. You can recomposition with stuff like performance-enhancing drugs, and that's why a lot of the information people get from powerlifting is coming from people who are on gear and are training in a specific way, and to them this is the way that works. So I don't think they're even being disingenuous.
No, they're not being disingenuous.
And this is the way they train. They train with stuff like top sets. They train with stuff like drop off RP kind of things. Yeah. And to them this is how they train, and so their mates are training, and everyone's kind of a fake natty in that regard. Everyone's a test the competition, so they can't talk about it. And then they kind of, they stay in the same weight classes, but they progress every year in those kind of weight classes. And they add like, they add like 20 kilos to their squat at meets and stuff. And one of the great things drugs allows you to do, among the many great things drugs will do for you, is you can recomposition at a particular body weight without gaining any weight or losing any weight, and still progress and recomposition. So it's an interesting part of drugs, but it's that kind of neurological efficiency, getting more efficient to your body weight, increasing your wilks and stuff. It's overplayed, and it's short-term progress, and there's definitely progress to be made with that kind of, getting better motor unit sequencing and firing. That's all very important, but ultimately you just need more muscle mass, and that's where I feel like power building, and that's our TED Talk. Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
Buy a t-shirt on the way out.